I often hear the term colorblind in regards to race. The dominant culture uses this term with pride, not knowing that colorblindness is in fact a form of racism. Even though race is an uncomfortable and touchy subject, I will reveal to you the term colorblind and how it can offend the minority culture. Colorblindness creates the opportunity to avoid the tension and awkwardness of discussing discrimination. It is a word used by the naive who think that culture, race, ethnicity, and background has no effect on who a person is and how they think. I read an article by Dr. Monica Williams in Culturally Speaking. She touches on the problems with the colorblind approach. She believes colorblindness creates a society that denies negative racial experiences, rejects cultural heritage, and invalidates unique perspectives. I want to break down the term colorblind for you all. Color means people of color, a term used primarily in the United States to describe any person who is not white. Blind means unable to see, lacking perception, awareness, or discernment. Essentially, colorblind means lacking perception, awareness, discernment, or being unable to see people of color.
Well, I don't see race. Really? Because, I do. In fact, it's one of the first things that I notice about a person. It's what they look like. However, I don't then make judgments about that person because of their race. I don't treat them differently or assume certain things because of their race.
People of color are proud of where they come from. They embrace their culture, race, religion, skin color, features, and more. Colorblindness takes this away from them. They want to be seen for who they are and what they stand for. So why make them invisible? Listen, hear them out.
Or care about race anymore. But for me, rather than being a virtue, I see color blindness as often a form of cruelty. To say that you don't care about another person's race is often to say you don't care about their racialized experience.
You do not have to pretend like you don't see race in order to treat someone as equal. Color blindness is a result of people being too afraid to admit that there are racial privileges in the United States. They seem to be unaware that race, in fact, does affect people of color.
When it comes to race, what we seem to have decided, it is better if we don't notice when they are people of color or white, or if we notice that we don't talk about it. So even more than color blindness, it's color muteness. Something Julian Bonds told us for years, that to be blind to color is to be blind to the consequences of color. And as he puts it, especially the consequences of being the wrong color.
Color blindness purposely removes racism, past or present, so they are not used to explain factors for disparities. If we continue to believe that racism is only something that evil or stupid people harbor, then we can forget about equality, because the system we live in will never change. Politics, churches, schools, and corporate America all strive for diversity and equality, but how many of them actually confront the issue of racial privilege? The problem is being masked by assuming that we are all the same. But we are not all the same. We are all different.
I'm colorblind, so when I see you, I don't see race. We hear that all the time from our coworkers and from politicians. When an individual talks about being colorblind, they're usually saying, I don't discriminate. Perhaps good intentions, but failed outcomes.
The start and core of any serious discussion regarding diversity and inclusion will require that we recognize and challenge privilege. According to Megan Burke, our current oblivience will likely deteriorate into confusion, denial, or despair. Instead of being colorblind, we should acknowledge, highlight, and celebrate racial differences. Failures to see and acknowledge cultural differences makes it difficult to recognize the unconscious bias everyone has. We want to shine a light on this issue, not just sweep it under the rug. The key to making a change regarding colorblindness would be to recognize and value differences. We are all different, and we are all special in our own way. If we acknowledge the differences and not make cultures feel excluded, we can open up doors for new opportunities and progress.
Expose your child to all types of people. Seeing other cultural beliefs firsthand can be a valuable lesson. Provide your child with books and movies that teach about acceptance. Go to cultural fairs and events so your child can experience the music, art, and food from different cultures. And remember, your child's beliefs will be influenced by yours, so lead by example, and you won't only help them succeed in the classroom, but in life too.
We should spread awareness about multiculturalism instead of supporting colorblindness. By continuing to learn about cultures and their differences, we take steps towards becoming a more united nation. We should want to get to know each other so that we become more knowledgeable about what goes on in the world around us. This will help foster personal friendships and organizational alliances. We will be able to create more intimate, diverse, and meaningful friendships that reflect cultural acceptance. It is possible for one to be content in their own race and culture while respecting that of others as well. I know it may be uncomfortable to do, but I think that people should step out of their comfort zone and dive into cultural acceptance. Stop using the term colorblind, because it does not portray that you are not a racist. It reads to the minority culture that you are unknowledgeable about the differences between cultures, and that you're not interested in learning more. Take off those color-blinding glasses and start to embrace the world around you and the people in it. Here's a couple of websites to get you started. I am happy I am able to see color. The world is so much interesting this way.